Anyways, I guess we're covering more Matt Powell. Not really what I expected to be doing. I kind of stopped covering him for several years because I quite frankly found the stuff he said to be boring. But I guess in that time, he has decided to become even more inflammatory. And my guess is I'm technically working into his hands by doing this because I feel like he's become more inflammatory because he's recognized that by becoming more inflammatory, he creates an environment where more atheists will respond to him because the claims are more ludicrous. And by doing so, he will elevate his own channel even higher more so that he can end up growing his following of sycophants. Does he still think you're trans? I know he's deleted every comment I've made on his video telling him that I'm not. So I'm guessing he's doing everything in his power to live in a fairy tale world, but we'll see. First bit of fan art is from Dark Wolf 036. I wanted to try and draw Suris in a winter outfit, but it devolved into just some old cringy fan art. It still looks nice, but I'm just disappointed. So I'll say this, Dark Wolf, do not be disappointed, because it looks good. There's nothing wrong with just doing a regular piece, and there's nothing wrong with a piece that you decide to make turning out to be something different later on. There's nothing wrong with that at all.
Never. In the eye.
Nyanina says, well, this is an amazing coincidence. I searched for your Twitch to ask why we didn't see Slime Suris in a while. Hello. There's going to be an onslaught of Slime Suris videos. Don't worry. We are here. But, you know, there's nothing wrong with a piece of artwork that was meant to be one thing turning into something else over time. That happens with almost every project that has ever been done. People tend to actually find that their projects evolve over time, and that's okay. The next one we have here is from Disjunction, also known as Quinn. Said, my first ever Suris fan art done with Copic markers. Trying to make her transparent and slime-like was a really fun challenge. Hope you enjoy. So this is something I've actually really enjoyed seeing in the fan art section. I've noticed a lot of people working on their artistic talents using the slime model specifically. And it's not just that I like the Slime Suris fan art. I think Slime Suris fan art is great. What I like is I like seeing the artistic techniques that are being used here. I like seeing people taking the idea and going, oh my god, we can make transparent. Let's do that. Let's make transparent. That's cool. Like, I mean, I can technically go transparent, right? That's a thing I can do. It just looks really weird when I do it. Here, I'll even show you what it looks like when I do it. I can kind of go transparent. Like, watch. There, see? But now I look like a ghost. I'm a ghost now. I can fade completely out of existence. There we go. There we go. I'm gone. But yeah, now I'm back. So, you know, I cannot do the transparent thing that much with my current setup. But I can kind of do it. I do like seeing the artistic techniques. I'm spending a lot of time on the fan art section this time. The last one we have here is from Yarakoro. Not really fan art because it is a commission, but I love how the tail looks, so I had to share. Yeah, this one is a commission, and it's because I wanted a new starting screen. But with that said, everybody, thank you all for your fan art submissions. If you want your fan art to be shown in a future video, the best way to do so is to drop it in the fan art section of the Discord. With that said, if you have not subscribed, hit the bell notification icon, all that other fun stuff, it would be awesome for you to do so. I have sent so... Did Fox Ears pain? Oh, well, I'll know I need to actually lower the volume on that later. I know I'll need to lower the volume on that in the editor now. That's a thing I know now. With that said, let's go ahead and get on to Pat Mowell.
But they're saying we'll convert your...
Will they? Are they saying that? Hold on.
But they're saying we'll convert your children. Do you know how they convert children? By molesting them.
What? That was certainly a thing. Also, didn't you literally put in your search bar, we're coming after your children? You know what they say about, looking for bad news? If that's the specific thing you're looking for, you'll find it. According to people like Matt Powell, everybody who's gay, everybody who's trans, they're just a child molester in his eyes. That's all he views them as. Despite the fact that, you know, the numbers of gay and trans people who molest children are more or less the same things we would expect to see with cis children, with a little bit more added in one way because of the higher rates of child abuse that happen, and we know that abuse tends to be a cycle. But regardless, this is weird. 6 months ago, from someone named Brandon, "We're not coming for your kids, sing songs about coming after your kids. Wake up, people, always been about adding the P to the rainbow mob." That fucking... It's a fucking 4chan meme. Adding pedophilia to the... To LGBTQ. And then, of course, a group of maps actually took that and tried to run with it. I'm sorry, if your attraction... And I mean this with every ounce of respect I can muster, which isn't a lot. But if your attraction can only manifest in abuse when it comes to other human beings, stop. Just stop. I understand there are people who cannot control that specific attraction. But that is something to keep buried deep down, because letting it out does nothing but hurt people. Unless you are letting it out with a therapist. Unless you are letting it out with a professional. With an actual certified amount of support. Not just a group of other MAPs, but actual professional support. But anyway... Come on, Matt. Give more info.
By abusing them. That's how they convert children. That's how people even become homosexuals.
What? People only become homosexuals because of abuse?
By getting molested by one of these creeps.
Well, if that's the case, then the only thing that homosexual people are is victims. I mean, I know that's not true. We literally have research and evidence to show that, no, that's not how this... Matt doesn't have any reason to actually, you know, look at research. He doesn't have any reason to do that. But let's see here. Does abuse cause homosexuality? Let's take a look here. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Let's take a look here. So what he's basing this on is articles like this. Epidemiological studies do find a positive association between physical and sexual abuse, neglect, and witnessing violence in childhood and same sexuality in adulthood. But studies directly assessing the association between these diverse types of maltreatment and sexuality cannot disentangle the causal direction because the sequencing of maltreatment and emerging sexuality is difficult to ascertain. Do you know what that means? Let's continue. Nascent same-sex orientation may increase risk of maltreatment. Alternatively, maltreatment may shape orientation. There's not an actual clear-cut bit there. And considering that we know that there are people who have never been molested and never have had child abuse and still come out as gay, that means that we cannot use any actual data to say one way or the other 100%, because we have data that shows that sometimes maltreatment is correlative with being gay, but sometimes it's just not. Sarah Chikorita, what the fuck are you typing and why is it in a weird font? That is, like, impossible for everybody else to read. But no, this is post hoc ergo propter hoc. This is the idea that correlation and causation are magically the exact same thing. Is there a correlation? Sure. There's a correlation between increased number of homicides and suicide. In the actual chat, it came across as flags. It didn't in the chat box, and it didn't on my stream chat either. That's weird. That's so weird. So in some people's chat boxes, it came across as flags, and some people it didn't. That's strange. That's awkward. Given that the actual data literally says studies directly assessing the association between these types of maltreatment cannot actually ascertain anything causal, you would think that that bit in the beginning of the abstract would tell Matt that no, you cannot make a 100% statement on this. You would think that. But Matt makes it his job to be wrong. He makes it his job to be incorrect.
And let me ask you a question. Why would you celebrate a group of people that leads the world in pedophilia?
Because we're not celebrating pedophilia. Let's do the thing where we grant the premise. Let's do it. Let's grant the premise, okay? Let's grant the premise right now. Let's go ahead and grant what he's saying for the sake of argument. So we steel man it 100% and show that it's still dumb fuck. Is every LGBTQ person a pedophile? In reality, no. In Matt's stupid little world, yes. But in reality, no. So are we celebrating pedophilia when we do so? No. There is a higher risk for teachers to harm their children. And if you want to call that pedophilia, that is on you. But when we celebrate teachers, we're not trying to celebrate pedophilia. We're not trying to celebrate predatory behavior. But Matt thinks in binaries. That's the problem. Everything Matt Powell does is either a 1 or a 0. The idea that there can be nuance in the middle, the idea that there can be anything in between, never occurs to him. It never actually occurs to him. To him, all that matters is that, hey, there's a minority group. I get to oppress it. Woo!
Do you know what Jesus preached about child molesters? People that would go around flaunting their bodies and doing perversion in front of children? That they should be dealt with by the government. Capital punishment.
Did he? Hold on. Okay, this is Leviticus. This isn't Jesus's words. That's the... So in Mark, and whosoever shall offend one of the little ones that believes me, it is better for him that a millstone were hanged about his neck, and he were cast into the sea. Okay, cool. There's at least that.
I believe that all of these drag queens, right, should be lined up, every single one of them, that has flaunted their body in a sexual manner in front of children. I believe that they should all be lined.
So remember, Matt Powell has a very weird way of saying flaunting your body sexually. To him, anything that might be able to be seen on Pensacola Beach would be flaunting bodies sexually. I have a question. Can we get Matt to define what flaunting sexually actually means? If he's going to call for the deaths of people, you'd think he'd be able to actually define what that is. But let's go.
Lined up, and by the power of the United States Constitution and the authority of God's word, should be dealt with via firing squad.
If the next thing this man says is shot, I'm going to stream. That's exactly what he says. Remember, this is a person who used to acolyte under fucking Steven Anderson. Of course he's going to say that trans people need to get shot. Of course he's going to say that LGBTQ people need to get shot. Of course he's going to say that drag queens need to get shot. But remember, somehow in the backwards-ass world of the United States, the statement, these people should be shot, is not considered incitement. It's not. I don't understand how it's not, but apparently it's not. It's the same thing as breastfeeding the public is disrespecting the public or some shit. Yeah, it's also, hi Swibby. It's good to see a good egg VTuber here, but also Matt Powell gives me a mad, and I know he's gonna see my video. And he's going to piggyback off of it. He's going to do what he did 3 years ago. And he's going to paraphrase what I said. And it's not going to be the words I actually said. And then someone else is going to have to issue a correction for him. We did this before. We did this once before. It's going to happen again.
The only reason they adopt children is probably to molest them.
Okay. Do you think the reason that gay people adopt children may have more to do with the fact that it's less likely that they would be able to breed? Do you think that maybe that is the case, Matt, and not, you know, for purposes of molestation? Do you ever consider that, Matt? And of course, he just has Bible verses on here as his reasoning why. Cool. Yeah, Bible verses. That's gonna that convinces me. 110%. Matt is projecting so damn hard right now. Yeah, didn't the IFB and the NIFB literally have a schism over sexual abuses in the church? Didn't that happen? Dusty Nut 69. Thank you for the follow.
According to statistics. So why is the church today affirming them? We affirm it. What, you're affirming AIDS? Affirming pedophilia? What?
Affirming God fucking damn it. You know there's not a causation between being gay and having AIDS, right? Matt, I swear to fucking God. This is what he does. This is what he does. He says things that are short, quippy, and wrong, knowing that we will respond to them, knowing that this will increase the power of whatever brand he's trying to sell. This has been Matt Powell's MO for years, and it's never gotten him the notoriety he wants. But he got his first taste of this when he went viral with his video about gamers and Mountain Dew. And then he got on the Non Sequitur show, because for some reason that show never had a good barometer for who should actually be platformed on it. And all those exact same problems exist in modern day debate. Sure, let's platform fascists. Let's platform white nationalists. Let's platform everyone that doesn't need to have their ideas echoed across time and space. Sure, let's do that. He got his taste of this when he went on and had his conversation with Bionic Dance, which of course didn't change his mind. I platformed him when I brought him onto my show to talk with me and other atheists when we were dissecting his movie. That didn't do anything. This man will never change his mind. He can't. He has financial and public incentive to never do so. I have never seen him budge on a single issue, ever, despite being presented with mountains of evidence that he is wrong on 90% of the stuff he says. Powell had a movie? Powell had several. It was one of the earliest live stream things that I used to do on my channel. It was going over his movie Science, Falsely So Called. I had a bunch of guests on it going over the movie, and we had a rotating panel of guests as well that would come in and dissect various parts of the movie. And there was one point where, as we were streaming the movie, as we were watching it, Matt Powell came into the chat, and we brought him in to talk about it. He brings back so many memories. But okay.
What kind of nonsense is that? If you're homosexual, you can't multiply. The only way you can multiply is by molesting children.
Wait, hold on. What? If you're homosexual, you can't multiply without molesting kids? Kids who... What? How does that make any sense? One, from a purely, from a base standpoint, kids, mostly people who are prepubescent, who probably can't even bear children yet. That alone should refute that claim. But on top of that, you are aware that people have access to things like in vitro, surrogacy. You're aware that there's lots of ways that someone who is homosexual, and I'm just talking about gay people and lesbians. There's plenty of ways in which they can actually have kids. Now it gets, if I move past that, Matt, I have even more fun counterexamples. If we start talking about the fact that there are people who are bisexual or pansexual who may be with 1,000 partners of the same sex, but they might be with one partner of a different one. And lo and behold, guess what? They can hold hands and get pregnant. But on top of that, Matt, if we bring trans people into the conversation, you can have the most buff-ass looking dude who still happens to have a womb, uterus, everything functioning downstairs, and then a cis dude who both look like goddamn gym bros. And those people can have a kid. I'm sorry, Matt. You may not realize, and I'm gonna bring up one of the oldest examples in the book. One of the most basic ones we always go to. And I may think this person is a bit of a garbage. A bit of a garbage. A lot of a garbage, actually. But technically, Matt, once upon a time, Buck Angel could get pregnant. You understand that, right? Once upon a time, Buck Angel could get pregnant. So the replacement theory all over again? Yep, it's just... I just don't. I don't understand. It's like there's thousands of bits of evidence disproving the things that Matt believes and says and espouses, and yet he will still say them over and over and over again, most likely because he's got a financial reason to do so. He has a congregation that needs him to affirm their own childish views. But okay, Matt, continue.
And creating, like zombies, creating more child molesters. Dear Lord,
okay.
I pray that America would wake up to the perversion that is going on, and that parents would not send their kids to Drag Queen Story Hour to be around a bunch of pedophiles.
Drag queens are not pedophiles. There may be pedophiles who are drag queens, but drag queen is not a causative thing to pedophile. And yeah, he's praying on camera. You know what praying on camera is? You know what that is, guys? I can tell you exactly what that is. It's performative. It's virtue signaling. That's exactly what it is. It is literally virtue signaling. You want your audience to look at you, watch me pray, look at me pray, look at me doing the godly thing. Vexley, thank you for redeeming your points for an owl. Yeah, it's vanity. Isn't praying on camera praying in public? Yes. Yes, it is. So doesn't the Bible say not to do that? Gee. Matt deserves the war words. He does. Why would you subject me to them? But fine. Bragwin for the 50,001 channel points. I'm already dead inside. I'm immune to this at this point. Bragwin for the 50,001 channel points and dropped a bomb. So now we have an ooh. Specifically for Matt Powell. Ooh. The Restless One says, Suris, the guys from your old school used to piss me the hell off doing that in Pensacola. Yeah, I bet. Pensacola Christian Academy led me to believe that when I rode around on my bicycle in my neighborhood, it was a godless place, so I needed to be holding my Bible with me at all times to show everybody I was a proper, true Christian. Fucking... Phantom Rem, what is wrong with you? Why would you do this to me? Fine, Phantom Rem. You get yours too, but I won't get any enjoyment out of it. Neither will you. Phantom Rem with the 50,001 channel points. Ooh. There. They sent guys in three-piece suits out to shout at passing cars in Florida in the summer. Yeah, they sent a bunch of teenagers, like well, not teenagers, like college girls, like they had just gotten out of school and they were in college. They sent them around the neighborhood all the time to round people up for Bible study over at Bristol Park. Axolotls of Cream, thank you for redeeming your points for an ara. You fucking degen. Come on, Matt.
Lord, I pray you'd strike those pedophiles dead. Every single one of these drag queens dead, Lord.
It's one thing to pray that people don't, fall into temptation. It's another thing to pray for death.
Pray that you would wipe them out and that you would eradicate them through your power And Lord, we know that you will someday, if not now. I'm sorry, our ancestor was not SpongeBob SquarePants, okay?
Who? What the fuck does that have to do with anything? Jesus fucking Christ. If your God's real, he doesn't give a shit, okay, my guy? Where did that come from? Who knows? Who knows? What does SpongeBob have to do with anything? I don't... I don't know. I don't know. All right, people think SpongeBob is guy, but in fact, oh yeah, yeah. There is no logic in anything Matt Powell says, does, or think. There's not. There hasn't been in a very long time. There's only a desperate need for other people to look at the things he's saying and react to them, which I guess means I'm falling into it too. I guess I'm falling for the trap. I don't understand, Matt. I don't understand. What happened to you? What got you to this point? What incentivized you to get to this point? What took you to the point where dishonestly editing people on camera was a thing that you do? What got you to the point where you truly and honestly believed this malarkey? IFB and NIFB brain rot, Steven Anderson, yeah, Steven Anderson, Kent Hovind, all that shit. I just... This is the reason I moved to doing more political stuff. People like Matt Powell are the reason I moved into covering politics. Because this intersection of religion and politics and money always comes up. It can never be categorically separate. And I don't... It should be. It 100% should be, but it doesn't. A symbolic symbol says, I try to have a slight bit of sympathy for these people only because I grew up in a very conservative home and totally understand how deep the brainwashing can go. I did too. I get it. My problem is, now that we're all adults and the internet is a thing and we have access to information to just such great, like, amazing degrees, it's so easy to figure out. It took us 10 seconds to find the study. To find the study that Matt Powell would have looked at the first sentence of and ignored every following sentence of. It took us almost no time. You have Matt Powell gets a taste like Steven Anderson did. I don't wish harm on Matt Powell. I wish he would change. Because here's the thing. The harm is only for us. We get catharsis out of it. We get to laugh and go, haha, you got your dues. You got what was coming to you. But what changes? Nothing really changes. If he gets harmed, nothing fucking changes at all. And in fact, actually, his base looks at that and goes, ah, but my brother in Christ is being persecuted. Which means he's doing the Lord's work. And now suddenly you've just exacerbated the problem. Which is just... But anyway, I guess that's where we're ending that one. I don't know what to say other than leave your opinions in the discussion below. I throw it on to you guys. Insert end of video tagline here.